40% of kids can't read and teachers are quitting.
A fourth grader asked their teacher, why do I need to learn how to read if AI can read for me? Right now, 40% of fourth graders can't read. We're witnessing the collapse of the American education system.
I teach 8th grade history, and
I hated history so fucking much, man. They just repeat the same fucking bullshit every year. Like in high school and middle school, they taught us European history over and over again. I want to learn more history about other continents. I know in the US they just keep teaching people about US history and nothing else about other countries or continents.
I have 110-ish students. 2 of them are reading on grade level.
Damn.
Right now. 18 of them are at a kindergarten level. Damn. 55 of those students are between a 2nd and 4th grade level. We were doing guided notes, supposed to be a real easy day. It was a review. They wrote down Maryland was founded as a safe haven for Catholics. It was on the board. They wrote it down. And before we moved on, I call on a student and I ask, hey, where were the Catholics one more time?
In the Vatican.
And these students, what they do is they look at me, and then they look at their notes.
I was the same. I was the same, but I would cheat on a fucking exam or a test, and then they would try to like verbally question me stuff, and I would be like, cow dung? I didn't know shit.
They look back at their notes, and some of them never answered me. They never figured out the answer.
They just kept quiet?
It was wild. And I kept giving them hints, like rephrasing the question and saying like, it's in your notes. We just wrote it down. We just wrote it down.
Yep, that's not gonna work.
Catholics, it's on the board. And they never got it. They can't read their own notes.
I think a lot of them actually did got it, but they just felt a lot of anxiety and shame, and I get it. Some kids are able to feel anxiety and shame, okay? Especially anxiety.
These kids have a frightening ability for information to go from their eyes to their hands.
I mean, they grew up with TikTok and watching short-form content. What are you expecting of these kinds of kids? Okay, that's like we obviously we're not blaming the kids. Okay, we need a better education system, and social media should be limited or just non-existent for kids. It's just
and not pass through the brain at all. What do we do, y'all? That ship is sailing across the ocean, and there is no one at the wheel.
What she described is terrifying. The information goes through their eyes, down through their hands, without passing through their brains. But this isn't an isolated...
That's me going through life, my whole fucking life. I've just been hearing shit and I just let it pass through one ear, out the other ear, and then I just forget it. And even ask yourselves how many stuff that you see from your like shorts or TikToks that you actually remember. Almost nothing, right? Even maybe everything.
Incident. This is nationwide. I looked up the actual numbers. Only 23% of fourth graders can read at a proficient level.
Seems about right.
23%. Then we have the 8th graders. Only 26% are reading proficiently. After all the reforms, adding technology into the classrooms, and debating about funding, we're now at 40%. We didn't get better. We made it worse.
I've been teaching since 1993. And yes, we have always had kids who struggle to focus. But what's happening now is on a whole other level. Do you remember how it used to feel when the teacher would pull out the cart with the big TV and the VCR attached? Yeah, not anymore. Now I've got kids asking to skip it. They literally can't just sit and watch.
I think that's actually a great idea. Like some classes, you can make kids watch some type of educational type of series, a short movie, content, whatever, right? And there should be, you know, subtitles. Maybe that's just gonna help. Maybe they should watch more series or movies with subtitles. I know that's not gonna help as much as just actual reading. And trust me, I do not like reading as much, even though I try from time to time. But I was forced to read so much shit, especially summer reading. Oh, I hated that shit so much.
I'm a 90s kid, so I know exactly what she's talking about.
I'm a 2000s kid.
TV rolled into the classroom, that was the best day
we
ever.
had flat screens.
But today's
in
kids are overstimulated. TV is not cutting it. When we were growing up, they said we watched too many cartoons. Now
did.
Kids
I
don't
still
even
do.
want cartoons. It's not enough stimulation. They get bored. Kids today
Yeah, right now, you think they're gonna go through a fucking Gumball 10-minute episode? It's like Gumball, one of the most fucking flashy and childish type of cartoons. And I bet a lot of kids that grew up with short-form content would not be able to watch a 10-minute Gumball episode and just over and over and over again. No, they won't be able to.
Watching Cocomelon and YouTube Shorts, content
Cocomelon
that's
should
meant to
be
hold
fucking-
attention for seconds at a time.
I don't know how parents just allow this. What the fuck is that?
And now we're asking
What,
them to sit
really?
in a
Wait.
classroom.
Bro was pranked on Skippity. No, we're so fucking doomed.
And now we're asking them to
He
sit
has
in a
to be an
classroom
outlier,
for
come on.
hours with no screens and no stimulation. Of course, they're going to roam around yelling 6, 7. They're having withdrawal
That shit has to
symptoms.
die.
Honey, teaching kids isn't the same anymore. It's just not. Used to be kids would listen to teachers simply because they were teachers.
You gotta
That was
teach them with
spectacle.
short-form content,
Now,
hey.
No, honey, I gotta keep the kids constantly engaged. Not even just engaged, but almost overstimulated. The candy isn't even working anymore. Giving out candy for positive reinforcement doesn't even work anymore. They don't care about that. Girl, I'm using chimpanzini bananini just to get my kids' attention, just so they'll look at me. Hello, hello.
Damn.
Girl, bye. I got kids
I
saying
mean, I was
6,
the
7
same.
repeatedly. They don't even know how to spell 6, 7. Catching me doing this mid lecture, just to see if they're paying attention. You watching? Hello, we there? Girl, it's so bad now. It's so bad.
No. Yeah, I actually agree. Social media should not be allowed. YouTube Kids should not fucking exist, okay? Or just YouTube Kids should be mainly only educational. Like, I know a lot of the negative connotation with all of this new push for social media to be banned for kids under the age of 15, 16, but it's mainly because of ID verification. But god damn, if I was a parent today, I just wouldn't allow my kid to have a smartphone.
TVs don't work, candy isn't working. The only thing that grabs their attention is TikTok memes.
Yep.
Chimpanzini bananini.
This shit needs to be
Bananucci,
exterminated.
Monkey, you.
I hate this AI slop.
Chimpanzini, cocosini.
What the fuck is that? No.
Boop, boop, bada
We are the
bim.
smartest species, by the way. No, we're fucking not. We're degrading each other.
Despite these apps requiring users to be 13, kids are on them way earlier. One study found that a quarter of kids aged 11 to 15 said they use social media to forget about their problems.
I mean, isn't that the same for us adults? It's like, for adults, it's probably much higher percentage-wise.
17% said they tried to cut back but couldn't. These kids are describing addiction.
Like, I started my own channel to fucking escape the depressing reality of my everyday life and just witness the depressing reality of the world, but through video and just make content. I'm just nerfing myself, aren't I?
Gen Z was the first generation to grow up on social media, and they're
Yep.
the most anxious, most depressed, loneliest generation on
Yep.
record.
Yep.
And now Gen Alpha isn't just growing up on social media, they also have generative AI.
Okay, this is becoming a genuinely concerning issue. As a substitute teacher, I am encountering a really
I wish I had generative AI when I was in high school and middle school and elementary. I fucking wish like those fucking presentations I had to make, especially for fucking biology or chemistry class or fucking history class. I hated that shit so much. I wish I had ChatGPT. And I know all of the teachers will think that we all made the presentations with, you know, ChatGPT, but I don't give a fuck. You gave me the fucking homework. I did it.
concerning number of students who truly do not see any value in
Yeah,
learning because
yeah. I know
as
it's a
one of the
problem.
4th and 5th
I know.
graders that I was
I
teaching the
agree.
other day asked me, why do I need to know any of this if a computer or AI can do it for me? A little
mean,
girl didn't want to learn how to
You know, but if you're thinking long term, they might actually, and this is scary, but they might actually end up being right, because if AI takes all of our fucking jobs, even if it's happening right now on a smaller scale where you know, professional seniors in certain roles are using AI and they are way more productive, and now beginners can't fucking get a job because of that shit, plus the recession and inflation and all that shit, of course, yeah, obviously. But AI also has an impact on that, and it's like, well, yeah, maybe 20 years in the future, fucking 99% of roles, maybe even sooner, maybe later, most roles will be fucking just done by AI. And it's like, why study? Just go back to big monkeys in the jungle, you know?
read, because why would she need
Universal
to? She could
income,
have
I don't
the
know.
computer read it
I
to
really
her,
don't
or when
know.
she could just take a picture of her math problem and have the AI do it for her. This is a legitimate issue.
Children do not have fully developed reasoning abilities. Their brains just aren't developed. We can just take a look at the subreddit Kids Are Stupid to see proof that kids do not think
I
long
have to
term.
check out
They
that
don't have
subreddit.
the mental capacity
Probably
to
a lot of
fully think through
stupid
their
fun shit.
actions. So how is a teacher supposed to convince a student to learn how to read when that student believes that the AI can just read for them? How do they convince them to learn to write when they can talk to ChatGPT?
Yeah, no, please. Like, I understand a lot of the stuff of you being bored and not learning a lot of advanced maths or a lot of history and stuff, but knowing how to read and knowing how to fucking write, that shit is important, okay? How the fuck are you will be able to fucking text your friends and text them back? Eventually, I know every one of these kids are eventually gonna learn how to read and write. It's just, it's unavoidable. You can't not learn it, okay?
And it'll write for them. Spelling, why bother? Grammar, who cares? History, civics, critical thinking. The AI has all the answers. And all a child sees is a path of least resistance. They don't understand that to struggle is to learn and to grow.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
GPT.
I know, but what are you doing?
I'm doing school.
I'm doing school.
On ChatGPT. How old are you?
3.
And
Does
what
he
are these
even have
children
school at
hearing
that
from
age?
the adults
Probably
about
not.
AI. AI is going to change everything. AI makes you so much more efficient. AI can
And now
do
there's more and more news coming out that the AI is a fucking bubble that'll burst and it's gonna be worse than the like .com bubble and the like crisis in 2008, whatever it was called. And it's gonna be so fucking bad that it's gonna have a lasting impact for fucking decades. And there's still AI companies throwing billions and trillions on AI products, and a lot of them are actually also building bunks, like World War bunks, like underground bunks, because they think if this shit bursts, it's gonna be insane. You should research about that.
for you. Why would a child invest in learning when every adult around them is saying that machines will do it better?
Yeah.
We're creating learned helplessness at scale.
I'm going to start with saying that teachers are not afraid of AI because we hate technology. We are scared because we are watching critical thinking disappear in real time. When I was in high school, my math teachers would say, you got to know how to do this because you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket. Well, guess what? I have a calculator in my pocket at all times. But what I realized is that it's not a fair comparison because calculators replace computation after we learned how math worked.
When I was in high school, trust me, even a calculator wasn't saving my dumb ass from fucking failing a maths class, and I failed every single one of them. But then in college, for some reason, I didn't have any problems with maths. I don't know why. Maybe it was because of the teacher. Probably, most likely.
Before students ever learn how to think through a problem.
Yeah.
What we are witnessing is that students are now incapable in sitting in any kind of intellectual discomfort, and that's concerning.
This is what people miss when they compare AI to calculators. It's not just math, it's literally every subject, including thinking itself. And we now have more research on AI and cognition. Students who use AI show weaker reasoning skills. They accept answers without questioning them. Researchers call it cognitive offloading. They develop this pattern of generating first and thinking later, or really generating first.
And how the hell are those kids gonna be able to learn more advanced shit? How are those kids gonna be able to get in more advanced job roles if AI doesn't take them over by then, you know? How the hell are they gonna be fully functioning adults if they can't just stop and think for more than a second without actually going on to, you know, technology and AI to answer their questions, especially when it comes to like relationships and social issues where you have to talk, you need to have deep conversations and, you know, use your fucking brain. It's gonna be fucking insane.
And not thinking at all. And the scary part is these studies are showing cognitive decline in adults. People with fully developed brains. If AI is doing this...
I mean, I'm 24 and my brain will never be fully developed because I'm a well below IQ retard. But I gotta be honest, using AI over and over again every single day just because I'm too lazy to do a lot of, you know, brainstorming, it's kind of destroying me, I'm not gonna lie. And I keep doing it.
What is it doing to a brain that's still forming? Teachers are responding to the overuse of AI by removing Chromebooks and iPads from the classroom. They're going back to pencil and paper, the method that we've used for hundreds of years because it actually works. But I want to discuss who's actually incentivized to have AI in the classrooms. We already know
No.
what social media was designed to do, and we know the future design because Mark Zuckerberg has been quite open about that.
If you have AI in any way involved in every single class, kids do not give a fuck about real world consequences. They don't care about the far future as much because they're fucking 10 years old. Who's a 10 years old and thinking, oh, how am I gonna be able to think deeply about philosophical topics when I'm 24, 25? They don't give a fuck. They just want to finish class, do the homework as easy as possible using AI, and just have fun. I was going to say go outside having fun. No, in modern times, they want to play fucking games, okay? Even we played games, and I'm born in 2001.
He thinks AI can fill the gaps in your friendships.
No,
He's
he does. He does
exploiting
not
the
give
loneliness
a... These billionaires and these tech corporations, they don't give a fuck about the kids' futures or anything. They only care about profit, 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 especially short-term and long-term. A lot of companies have proven that, sadly, they a lot of the times care more about short-term profit a lot of the times, and they just fuck themselves up. And there we go.
By his own apps.
I would not trust
Then there's
these people.
Noam Shazir. He's the founder of Character AI. In an interview, Shazir said, "I joke that we're not going to replace Google. We're going to replace your mom." He wants
What
his
the
AI
fuck?
chatbot to replace
No.
mothers, the person who's supposed to guide you,
No,
help you
that's
make
not
decisions,
gonna
and
happen.
provide you with life advice. He would rather his chatbot do that. And then there's Sam Altman. There's always a
When it comes to advice, yeah, I can see it. But when it comes to the relationship, no. What? You're telling me people are gonna be replacing their fucking parents with AI when it comes to like real life social relationships with their families? Replacing them with AIs? Yeah, that's a... maybe they should have therapy class.
Sam Altman quote because the man has never received a podcast invitation that he could turn down.
People talk about the most personal shit in their lives to ChatGPT.
there's
Young people
these
especially
fucking
use
guys.
it as a therapist, a life coach, having these relationship problems. What should I do?
They don't really make life decisions without asking like ChatGPT what they should do. And it has like the full context on every person in their life and what they've talked about.
Yeah.
There's young people who just say like, I can't make any decision in my life without telling ChatGPT everything that's going on. It knows me, it knows my friends, I'm gonna do whatever
I mean,
it says.
I don't see anything wrong with, consulting with, an AI, but you should know the AI is just super biased, not super based, what the fuck. A lot of the times they're like the very opposite of super based, and a lot of the times you're conflicted between, should I listen to this AI who's just gathering information from like millions of websites and fucking Google and YouTube and so many videos and stuff, right? Or should you listen to real people with real world fucking experience in whatever you want to pursue in life? And in my opinion, you should do both. But listen to real life people with real life experience on whatever you want to pursue. That's way more important. Hence why connections with real people will always be more valuable, in my opinion, than just, having 20 AIs in your disposal just to, work. Have both.
These CEOs know exactly what they're doing. They're not accidentally replacing critical thinking. They're designing for it. They want users dependent on the chatbot for advice, for decision making, for thinking itself. Because dependency is a business model. In fact, it translates to $20 a month for ChatGPT.
And now they're planning to add fucking ads on our chatbots because they're not making money even with the paid packages. It's that bad.
All of this has a societal
and
cost.
I'm not an AI
and we
hater,
are
by the
paying
way.
for it.
I don't get to teach. I spend my day managing behaviors and
Bro, you look like you're fucking 19. How are you a teacher? God
teaching students how to regulate their emotions.
Great genetics.
I'm not a counselor. I'm not a behavior specialist. I'm a teacher, and most of my job is managing behaviors. I just watched a video of a teacher getting pepper sprayed by their student in the school.
Whoa.
Because they took
I
their
want to see that
phone
video.
because it was being used to cheat on a test.
Whoa.
She didn't sign up for this. None of them did. Teachers go into the profession with the expectation that they will teach.
I mean,
Somewhat
I've always hated teachers because of the way I was forced to do stuff and learn to do stuff, and if not, I was gonna get punished. And I hate I hate being forced into doing shit. And I know a lot of the times it's a good thing because it motivates you to actually learn some stuff. And I did learn a lot about, you know, some chemistry shit, some biology shit. I know a lot about geography. I'm obsessed with geography. But attacking somebody, the teacher, I would probably get beaten up immediately because I had physically violent teachers when I was in, especially in the beginning of elementary school. Yeah, I'm in the Balkans, okay? People are crazy here, especially when I was a kid.
How their
I
teachers
got beaten
taught them.
by my
they
teachers
didn't realize
and
that they
other
would be
students as well.
managing
That was normal.
behaviors because they're not behavioral therapists. But today, that's what the job entails.
Yeah.
Severe breakouts, tremors, daily anxiety attacks, crying
Not
before
worth it.
work, crying after work, dreading the drive in, bringing work home because there's not enough time to do your job at your job. The data shows teacher shortages were being reported on back in 1998. But back then, it was fewer than 30% of states. Fast forward to today, and it's 86% of school
Holy
districts.
shit,
that
well,
can't
like the combination of low-ass salaries plus dealing with those little fucking brats, I don't want to be a teacher. I'd rather just pick up garbage from the street. I'm not kidding. Like, in my country, those people, garbage men, are paid a lot of the times more than teachers in high school and elementary school.
can't fill their positions. 86% is a collapse, not a shortage. 411,000 teaching positions are either empty or filled by someone who isn't fully qualified.
Let AI teach kids, okay? Let's get a robot to go into the fucking classrooms and it can teach people. I don't know if that's a bad idea or a horrible idea, but hey, that's one idea, I guess.
As a
Probably
result of
bad
having
idea.
less staff and more students with behavioral issues, teachers are burning out. In fact, teachers have the highest burnout rates of all industries, with 44% reporting always or very often feeling burned out. This clip says, how it feels going to sleep tonight knowing that I don't have to wake up tomorrow and teach children because I quit my teaching job in the middle of the year. We can go to the comments.
I don't know if I should cry or
Asking
laugh.
for me, currently in class, and just letting them talk over me because I'm tired of it already.
God damn.
What do you do now?
I mean, this shit, I'm pretty sure that this shit was happening even when I was a kid. When I was a kid. And you know why I know? Because I was one of those kids.
Of education. Quitting
it's so
teaching
bad.
was the best decision of my life. You won't regret it. This is honestly terrifying, seeing how many teachers wanting to quit. Teachers deserve better than this. The comments are filled with teachers who want out or teachers who have already left, and it's the best decision they made. By the way, this video was posted 1 week ago. It has over 2 million views and over 292,000 likes. The algorithm found every burnt out teacher in America.
I live like this.
Yep.
So that my students can live like
Relatable.
this.
God damn, those are nice classrooms.
So how can I afford to do
Like,
this on
our fucking classrooms, do you know how my classroom looked like? It looked like a Soviet fucking bunker. Like, it looked like we were going to the torture chamber or something.
teacher's salary? The answer is I can't. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I am beyond broke.
Yeah.
These are the people
And
that
everybody's living paycheck to paycheck, and everybody is like broke or almost broke. And at the top of that, you want to also like deal with those little brats? No. So I think schools should have like special, laws in place for the school, right? Rules, very strict. Of course, there should be a lot of rules on not using technology. Of course, countries and governments should ban social media for kids. And obviously, parents and teachers should be much, much stricter when it comes to kids. And there should be much harsher punishments for kids acting in certain ways. And I'm saying all this shit because I was one of those badass, fucked up kids, okay? Not badass as in good, badass as in like a horrible student.
that we're losing. Teachers who are willing to live paycheck to paycheck to nurture the next generation.
Yeah.
A survey found nearly 97% of teachers use their own money to buy classroom supplies. Teachers earning between $35,000 to $50,000 are spending $700 out of pocket each school year for kids to have pencils. Critical
Damn.
thinking is
Wait,
becoming
teachers-
a pocket school year for kids to have pencils. spending $700 out of pocket, earning between 97% of teachers use their own money to buy classroom supplies. Teachers earning between $35,000 to $50,000 are spending $700 out of pocket each school year for kids to have pencils.
Bro, what? Just tell the parents, the books, the backpacks, the pencils, the pens, the coloring shit, everything should be bought by the parents. What the fuck is this? This is one of those strict rules that should be also enforced in schools.
Critical thinking is becoming a class marker who can actually question things. But this is to be expected. For years, education has been systematically devalued, defunded, and deprioritized.
Yep.
But who truly benefits from a population that can't read, can't write,
The biggest top 1% corporations in the world who want everybody, who want the middle class to die out, for everybody to be poor, and for them to dominate the world.
think critically and ask questions. These same tech companies creating these problems are selling the solution. The same government that claims prosperity.
They are creating the problems and then selling the solution. And the solution is only making the problem bigger. It's not fixing the problem.
Is defunding schools,
Just
while
money
at the
and
same
money.
time using our tax dollars to build yet another AI data center.
Yep.
What every educator on this app is talking about, and what every educator in the field is noticing, is a dramatic decline in basic critical reasoning skills and basic literacy skills among students. This is particularly pronounced among high school age students, where they're engaging with more complex material and can't grasp basic concepts or manage basic memory about
Damn,
those
we are
concepts.
fucked.
And what this is creating is a generation entering the workforce without basic comprehension skills.
Not just that, but we're also entering the workforce with limited jobs. Everything is much more expensive when it comes to housing and groceries. And the impending doom of AI taking over every single job that's like left.
That is going to make it very hard for them to keep and maintain any form of employment. On the inverse of this, we're seeing kids in more affluent families being not only pulled out of the public school system and sent to things like Montessori schools, but being pulled away from technology, not given access to anything more than, say, a TV or a video game station until they're a teenager. No tablets, no phones, things like that. And what they're doing to fill their time instead is the normal childhood stuff of playing outside, reading a book, coloring sheets. All of these things that seem like play, but are actually building soft skills that make someone much better able to
a lot of those kids that are going to grow up like this, they will have like such boring lives because everybody else, like think of generations 50 years from now. Imagine, just think of everybody just being brainless NPCs walking the streets, just being controlled by whatever the chatbot says, or in 50 years, who knows what else is going to be out there. Probably fucking robot companions, you know? And all these other smart kids who actually, you know, grew up actually using their brains, they're going to be fucking lonely, okay? They
navigate the world around them as they get older. The gap is not going to be who can use AI and who cannot. The gap is not going to be who is an all-star on the ACT with a full ride and who is not. The gap is going to be who can reason in a basic way and who cannot.
Yeah.
And those that cannot will probably be left behind.
I'm so happy I didn't grow up with chatbots. So yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments. Maybe you have some more stuff to add to this, and maybe some more of your own personal experience with your own kids. Have a nice day.